Well, hey everyone, Kaiser Soze here from Maximum Carnage, and I'm going to do this quick video. Hopefully, it's going to be a short one where it just kind of outlines what the clan guidelines are. That's for new members, what the expectation is for war, for donations, for higher level town halls, what the expectation is as well for war and donations, and some of the reasons behind it. So, the first thing is that we do not have, I'm just going to put a replay here of a single attack that I'm doing in the background. Nothing special about these attacks, just something to put in the background while we're shooting. So the first thing is about donations. So nobody under Town Hall 8 should be donating any troops. And there's a few reasons for that. One is naturally, Town Hall 8s and above are going to have better troops, high-level troops. And people who receive higher level troops, especially at the lower level for Town Hall 5s and 6s and 7s, receiving high level troops there is a significant impact on their ability to raid. Whereas if a Town Hall 6 gives a Town Hall 7 some troops, it's not going to really give them as much of an advantage. For the higher level players, giving high level troops naturally is at a minimum really what's going to be required to be able to assist them when it comes to be able to raid. Getting lower level troops and trying to raid higher level bases consistently is just not going to work. I personally would much rather have, some max archers than level 3 giants kind of thing. For the damage they do and the damage that they can take, that's what the preference is. The second thing that falls into that category as well is, generally speaking, the higher level town hall you are, naturally the longer probably you've been playing. And that means the more likely you are to be able to pay attention and understand the importance of being able to pay attention to clan requests for troops. What ends up happening is a lot of new players, they don't understand. They think somebody's asked for troops. They're like, oh, well, it's better than nothing. I'll just give them something. But naturally, they don't understand the concept of raiding or concept of defending. Bases can defend a certain way, and naturally, when you're going out for raids, you're specifically wanting troops to be able to support how it is that you raid at different levels. So that's really important. So that's how come nobody is allowed to donate troops until they're at least Town Hall 8 or above within our clan. So now, if you are Town Hall 8 or above, the expectation is that you're going to keep your donations at around a 1-to-1 basis. If we go right now, we've got 48 members. At any given time, we seem to be right around the 45 members. About a third of which or lower, 12 to 15 at any given point, are Town Hall 9s for us. So that means there's 2/3 of the clan that is lower than Town Hall 9. The Town Hall 9s can benefit them the most by using their troops. A couple of exceptions, naturally, when somebody's transitioning up to Town Hall 9, they're really craving resources and might not be able to make enough donations and may not even have those troops upgraded yet. But once you're an established Town Hall 9, the troop level donations that you're giving out should be at 1-to-1. So a few times I've mentioned here to Diggy about the donation, but the donation ratio is what's important. It doesn't matter. We can see here that Diggy's got 1,100 donations. Nobody has an expectation that those go up. His troops received 2,796. It's not a problem that he's asking for too many troops either. It's the ratio between the two. It should be around 1-to-1. And it can fluctuate, it can go up, it can go down. It's not to say it has to always be around that 1-to-1. But when it starts to get out of whack like a third, then we run into a bit of an issue saying, well, how can somebody be on enough to raid and take that many troops? Why are they taking that many troops? And how come they're not, giving out troops kind of thing in the meantime? So if we go any except Quake, we can see that. And we go Warloons. So here's an example. 2 hours and 8 minutes ago, somebody asked for Warloons. And then an hour and 20 minutes ago, Diggy has a request out for any, and naturally he hasn't filled this Warloon request. He might not be able to because of the raids, but nothing prevents people from throwing on a couple of loons. If somebody does get that person before you have the loons cooked, no problem. You just delete them, don't let them go into your thing. They could be made in the background. If we look at the attacks, though, so we just look at Diggy's profile, we could see he's won 40 attacks this season. So we see the attacks that are won underneath his war stars of 362. We could see that he's won 40 attacks and had 6 defenses. And that's for the season. So over that time, he's received 2,796 troops for 40 attacks. Now, if we go to me, we can see that I've won 106 attacks, but I've only received 1,771 troops. So it's 1,000 less troops that I've taken, and yet I've done almost 3 times the number of attacks for wins that Diggy has done in the season. So that ends up just being a little bit out, and I think one of the big reasons for that is the propensity for people to attack and always use the clan castle with troops. Now, if we go into my attack log, not to say there's anything special here, this is just literally over the last day, and we could see, I only raid for dark, but we'll see, look at this against Lewis Woody here. So that's the 3rd attack down. I used the clan castle on that because it was a big hit, 400, 500 plus the 4,000 dark. But if we scroll down, I don't normally use the clan castle for raiding. And the reason that I don't use the clan castle for raiding is that you don't need to use the clan castle. I'm still getting dark. You can see that there's no problem with the amount of dark that I'm getting in those raids. And only once on the entire attack log have I deployed the clan castle. And you can see what I had in there as well. Oh, look at that. You can scroll. I didn't even know that. You can see that there's archers and whiz. I always ask for archers and whiz because at the end of a raid, if I don't use the clan castle, it also therefore means that I don't have to stop and ask for defenses and clear out my giants or do something else with them if I didn't use them in that deployment. I always ask for archers and whiz. I get the archers and whiz, and I use them in a supporting capacity for my raid, but the basic structure of the raid is going to allow me to core the base and get that resource that I want. On the flip side, if I'm going for gold or elixir and not dark, where I don't have to core the base, it's going to be more of a jibe arch, where I'm just using giants, barbs, and archers to be able to look for more of those vacant bases and maybe dropping down in league if need be. So the donation ratio has to be in line. New town halls or anybody that's under town hall 8 shouldn't be donating at all during the clan. So I'm going to just put on another replay here. I don't have that one. So now I'm also going to touch upon our war strategy. The strategy for many clans is to attack your mirror or attack 2 over, 2 under, 1 under, whatever that might be for first attack, and then deal with cleanup. We don't do that. Our attack strategy for war is simply first attacks. Everybody who's not an upper level Town Hall 9 should be attacking for 3 stars. So you know your base. All bases, when it comes to how they're ranked in war, bases are not ranked on strength in war. They're only ranked on defensive strength. So if you're ranked at number 19 out of 25, you might have the 15th or 10th best offensive capability, depending upon what the order of the upgrades are that you've taken. So a good indicator of that is by taking a look at your recommended target. If your recommended target is consistently above your own mirror, it probably means that your offenses are more advanced than what your defenses are. And that's fine, and it's fine for that to happen a little bit, but you need to recognize that you don't want to attack your recommended target. You just simply want to comfortably be able to easily 3-star an opponent. If a war happens and everybody attacks their mirror, they just attack their equal straight off the bat, there's going to be many, many, many 2-star raids. Every single raid that hits for 2 stars most likely is going to have to be attacked again by somebody above. We get 2 attacks. The more 3 stars that we can get on the first attack means that we're saving attacks to be able to hit bases 3, 4, or even 5 times if need be. Those tough bases where people at a high level need a chance to crack. So what we also can run into is that people, they're concerned about loot, and they say, oh, well, this is less loot. Literally, raiding for loot should not be an issue whatsoever in war, because if we end up winning more wars, overall, it's always going to work out better. Even if you're attacking lower level bases, just the fact that we would win at a higher percentage would allow people to be able to have more loot overall. And people need to recognize that it's important overall as a team. So we'll just pop over to this war here. So we can see Spidey, then Cameron, then Run, then Anti, then Chaser. So Cameron, what this means, I'm going to click off that. What it ends up meaning is that Cameron is number 2 when it comes to defensive strength. So his defenses are at a higher level overall in the base as calculated for defensive strength than Run. Or they're so close that it's a random whether or not run ends up being at number 2. This does not mean that Cameron is going to have a better chance at 3-starring their number 2. It doesn't mean that he's going to have a better chance at 3-starring their number 4 or 3 or 5 or any other base. It's really base specific. So it's going to be up to Cameron to discuss with Run and Spidey who they should attack, why they should attack at the top end. When we start getting towards the bottom, we have to appreciate that these upper levels are going to have several attacks on their own, 2 each. So it's likely, if we just go in order, if Spidey hits 1 and 2 and Cameron hits 3 and 4 and Run hits 5 and 6, all for 3 stars, however unlikely, we're going to be talking about people have to drop. So now we look at the equals at around number 12. And we could say number 12 here, M Gearing 90. He looks over at his number 12 and he says, well, that's a Town Hall 8. And he's our top level Town Hall 8. He could say, well, I can attack my equal because it's not their top Town Hall 8. Again, we want to look at the base. M. Gearing needs to be able to drop below his equal to comfortably 3-star somebody lower, knowing that everybody above him has 2 attacks. If everyone could attack their equal comfortably, that would mean Alex would be attacking down at number 22. Because everybody above him's been able to clear 2 bases. Now we need to reverse that line of thinking and say everyone below can simply start attacking for 3 stars. As they take out bases at 3 stars, that mid to upper level Town Hall 8 and working into Town Hall 9 area, they are all going to be able to drop and clear the lowest Town Hall 9s and the highest Town Hall 8s. And it makes everybody's job simple to make sure that our upper core of, depending upon the number of people in war, the upper core of 7, 8, 9 people are able to deal with the toughest bases on the opposite team and able to take several tries on those tough bases that need to be scouted. So the last thing I'll say is when this happens on a successful war, we always run the risk then of these lower level bases. We always require people to use both attacks. We require them to go in with best troops. You can't just dump a couple of barbarians because you say it's too hard of a base and I never had a chance. Every single person in war has to attack. They have to have an expectation that they're going to spend on full, strong armies to do the best runs. And if somebody down low doesn't want to attack early in war and they want to wait, they may run the risk that they're now going to have to attack an upper level Town Hall 9 that they might not have an opportunity to be able to 3-star. Our number 25, for instance, wouldn't have no chance at being able to even get a single star in this space. Nonetheless, the expectation is that they use their best troops and try. Hopefully the goal would be a way of still being able to at least draw the clan castle. If hogs are available, or putting in all giants and wall breakers to be able to pop the clan castle, just to give more information to our other high levels who have not hit that base. Because the expectation is to always go for stars. There are no loot runs in war, and if we follow attention or pay attention to those rules, follow that war plan overall, over a long period of time, we're going to win a substantially higher percentage of our wars. That's going to allow everybody to be able to gain more loot. If there is a couple of clan members who always find themselves in the position that they're always stuck hitting high-level bases that they never have a chance, it's just an indicator that they need to start attacking earlier. That's it. Because it should rotate. And in good wars, there should be a couple of people who are kind of stuck in that situation depending upon what it is. And that's just the cost associated with winning and having a good war record. And we could see just from our war log, it's overall been pretty good here for us. There was a couple of tough patches that we went through with some big transitions, but even this stretch here, maximum carnage, maximum sausage right in the middle, that was a civil war. We just fought ourselves. Other than the one stretch where we had these 3 losses in a row, there's only been 2 at maximum the whole way through in our war log as it sits. So winning as a team is much more important than loot. If you want loot, that's fine. Go for loot. Go raid. We'll help you out. We'll give you max troops to be able to donate it. When we're in war to win the war. Winning wars is going to be more loot for everyone over a longer period of time than having certain individuals try to wait and only go for loot. All right, those are the guidelines. Ask in chat if there are any questions. And Kaiser Soze, maximum carnage, more to follow.